In the annals of ancient warfare, few sagas resonate with the sheer audacity and almost mythical challenge of Hannibal Barca's crossing of the Alps. It was 218 BC, and the Carthaginian general, fueled by a lifelong oath of vengeance against Rome, embarked on a campaign that defied geography, logic, and the very limits of human and animal endurance. Imagine an army, not just legions of men, but a formidable contingent of war elephants, lumbering through snow-choked passes, battling not only hostile tribes, but also the raw, unforgiving power of nature itself. This was more than a military maneuver. It was an odyssey into the unknown, a testament to an iron will, and a gamble that would forever etch Hannibal's name into history. Our story begins long before the mountains, steeped in the bitter rivalry between Carthage and the burgeoning Roman Republic. The First Punic War had ended in humiliation for Carthage, fueling a deep-seated desire for retribution. Into this world was born Hannibal Barca, a prodigy of military strategy. At 9 years old, his father, Hamilcar, made him swear an oath of eternal enmity against Rome. This was not mere childhood bravado. It was a sacred vow that would shape his destiny and ignite the Second Punic War. His ambition was monumental, to strike at the heart of Roman power, not across the sea, but through a path no sane general would contemplate. Hannibal's grand design began not in Africa, but in Hispania, modern-day Spain. This Carthaginian stronghold served as his base, a rich source of manpower, resources, and formidable warriors. From here, he could gather his diverse army, Numidian cavalry, Iberian infantry, and the crucial, awe-inspiring war elephants. His initial moves involved consolidating power in Iberia, culminating in the siege of Saguntum, a Roman ally. This direct provocation shattered the fragile peace, giving Rome the pretext for war. Hannibal knew his invasion of Italy required speed and surprise. A sea invasion was too risky, leaving only one impossible alternative. The war elephants were not just weapons. They were psychological warfare incarnate. These North African forest elephants, smaller than their Asian counterparts, but still immense, struck terror into the hearts of any who faced them. Hannibal reportedly started with around 37 elephants. Imagine the logistical nightmare: feeding, training, and transporting these colossal beasts. They consumed vast amounts of fodder, required specialized handlers, and their presence alone complicated every aspect of troop movement. Their role would be crucial, not just in battle, but in inspiring his troops and demoralizing his enemies even before a single sword was drawn. In spring 218 BC, Hannibal set out from New Carthage. His army, a multicultural force of around 90,000 infantry, 12,000 cavalry, and his formidable elephant corps, began their trek along the Mediterranean coast. Their immediate objective was to cross the Pyrenees, then the formidable Rhone River. This initial leg, though challenging, was merely a prelude to the true test. Roman forces, expecting an attack from the south, were already mobilizing. Hannibal's swift, overland advance was designed to bypass Roman naval supremacy and strike directly into Italy before they could react effectively. Reaching the wide, swift-flowing Rhone River presented Hannibal with his first major logistical dilemma. Roman scouts and hostile Gallic tribes awaited on the far bank. To transport his thousands of men, cavalry, and especially the elephants, Hannibal engineered a remarkable solution. He constructed enormous rafts, covered with earth and disguised as solid ground, to trick the elephants onto them. Though some panicked and fell into the water, most were successfully ferried across. This audacious crossing, executed under pressure, demonstrated Hannibal's unparalleled resourcefulness and his army's growing faith in their leader, preparing them for even greater trials. As Hannibal's army left the plains of Gaul, the majestic, snow-capped peaks of the Alps began to loom. On the horizon, these mountains, considered an impassable natural barrier, stretched like a monstrous spine across Europe. For centuries, they had deterred invaders, their jagged ridges, glacial valleys, and unpredictable weather a more formidable foe than any army. To attempt to cross them with war elephants was an act of madness to his contemporaries. Yet, Hannibal saw not an obstacle, but a hidden path to victory, a way to circumvent Roman defenses and unleash his army directly upon Italy. The initial ascent into the lower Alpine passes was immediately met with fierce resistance from local Celtic tribes. These mountain dwellers, accustomed to defending their territory, launched ambushes from high ground, raining down rocks and arrows on the slow-moving Carthaginian column. Hannibal, using his tactical genius, often sent advance parties to secure critical choke points and outmaneuver the tribesmen. But every skirmish, every loss, chipped away at his forces and their morale. The true enemy, however, was not yet fully revealed. It was the unforgiving terrain and the impending grip of winter. As the army climbed higher, the air grew thin, and the lush valleys gave way to barren rock and perpetual snow. The autumn chill rapidly transformed into a brutal winter. Blizzards swept through the passes, burying trails and claiming lives. Men, horses, and even the elephants struggled on the slippery ice and unstable scree. The elephants, accustomed to warmer climates, suffered terribly. Their feet, not designed for such terrain, were prone to injury. Many perished from cold, exhaustion, or falling into precipices. The mountains cared nothing for oaths or ambition, demanding a relentless toll. One of the most enduring and debated tales of the crossing involves Hannibal's ingenious method for clearing a massive rockfall blocking their path on the descent. According to ancient accounts, his men heated rocks with fire, then poured vinegar over them, causing them to crack and crumble. While modern historians debate the feasibility and scale of this technique, it symbolizes the extraordinary measures Hannibal took. It highlights the desperate ingenuity required to overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles and carve a path through solid rock, an act of sheer will against the very fabric of the mountain. After 15 grueling days, Hannibal's emaciated army finally descended from the Alpine passes into the fertile plains of Cisalpine Gaul. The sight of Italy, green and promising, must have been a powerful, emotional moment. But the cost was staggering. Of the original 90,000 infantry and 12,000 cavalry, only around 20,000 infantry and 6,000 cavalry remained. The magnificent elephant corps was reduced to a mere handful, perhaps as few as one surviving. It was a Pyrrhic triumph of survival. Yet, they had achieved the impossible. Rome was utterly unprepared for an enemy emerging from such an unthinkable direction. Hannibal's crossing of the Alps remains one of history's most astonishing military achievements. It wasn't just a physical journey, but a profound psychological statement, demonstrating an unwavering determination that defied all conventional wisdom. The ordeal decimated his forces, yet it delivered him into Italy, sowing terror and forcing Rome into a desperate struggle for survival. His legendary march set the stage for some of the greatest battles of antiquity and continues to inspire strategists and adventurers alike. The image of those majestic elephants against the backdrop of snow-capped peaks is a timeless testament to human ambition, resilience, and the sheer audacity to challenge the impossible.